social psychology, the brain receives information from what are referred to as routes. There were two basic routes of information, the central and peripheral. Information can be presented through both sight and sound down both routes. The central route of information is more direct. The target is aware of the information you are presenting him with. For example, a news broadcast airs a segment discussing civil rights, and the journalist is sitting behind a desk talking. He says, "It is imperative that we maintain the ideals our country was founded on by passing this legislation." The viewers would have been cognizant of what he was saying. Henceforth, the information they were receiving traveled down the central route. The peripheral route of information is less direct. The target is incognizant of the material you are presenting. For example, on the desk that the journalist is sitting behind, there is a coffee mug with USA written on it. To the left of the screen, there is a slideshow sifting through images of various civil rights leaders and founding fathers with quotes below each figure. The wall behind the journalist is emitting a translucent outline of a world map. There is text scrolling on the bottom of the screen with various messages containing dreadful information and positive government solutions. In this case, most of the viewers would have been paying attention to the journalist, and just as the attention bias phenomenon predicts, they wouldn't have paid much attention to these other things. Their subconscious, however, absorbs everything, at least temporarily, including these things, so the information would have been sent down the peripheral route. Military aircraft can be a useful metaphor to explain this. Picture the central route of information as being an F-15 jet fighter. It is loud, noisy, and you know exactly where it is and what it's for. It makes its presence known. You look at a painting, read an article, or listen to a point of view, you are aware of the message behind it. Think of the peripheral route as being an X-45 U.S. stealth drone. It is small, discreet, and effective. Odds are you won't even notice it, and even if so, you probably won't give credence to its potential. When lucrative suggestions are made, under disguise or through distraction, they have the power to affect your attitude or temporary perception of something.
Touchdown and the same tracks as last time. On the right side.
Here are a few examples of how these routes of information can be used in real life. Let us first analyze the peripheral information. While this clip is too blurry to really see what the TVs in the background are displaying, they would normally count. Look at the text bar at the bottom of the screen. Nearly everything there involves the world being chaotic, in need of authority. To the right of that, we see that the stock market is in decline. There is more there, but you get the picture. Now examine the central information, in this case, his talking points. Take a few moments to listen to what he has to say.
Where anyone's enemy can take something nasty and post it on the internet, and maybe it doesn't rise to the level as it did with Shirley Sherrod, but it still gets out there among a certain community and does damage to that person's reputation. Imagine what would have happened if we hadn't taken a look at what happened with Shirley Sherrod and plumbed the depths further and found out that what had been posted on the internet was not, in fact, reflective of what she said. Would she still be without a job? Would her reputation still be ruined? That to some degree, is the effect of what many people might consider to be a wild west of the internet, where anybody can post anything they want about anyone. Andrew Keene is the author of The Cult of the Amateur: How Blogs, MySpace, YouTube, and other user-generated media are killing the American economy, the culture, and our values. Here's what he says about this idea that people can post whatever they want about anyone, and many times, probably more times than not, get away with it.
He is talking about some sporadic case of cyber harassment and how we need to crack down on internet bloggers. You see how the peripheral route information works hand in hand with the central info. It is creating an attitude of panic, fear, and desperation, so that when he promotes the policing of the internet, it sounds to you like just the thing a civilized society needs. In the days to come, I will explain what is perhaps one of the most significant campaigns against modern-day humanity, psychological warfare. For I am anonymous, and the resistance has begun. Before I can begin teaching what they are doing, it is of the utmost importance that you learn how they are doing it. Therefore, you must acquaint yourself with some of the basics first. Stay tuned for the next lesson, where I will be covering a few other basics like values, beliefs, attitudes, behavior, and group cohesion.